Hey guys, Trina here, back with another mixed media demo. Today I'm going to be working with some acrylic paints on canvas, which is something I haven't done for a while. I'm going to start with this 8x8 canvas that I attempted to jelly print on, but I really didn't like how the effect turned out. So we're just going to paint over it. Starting here with some yellow ochre, going in with my Lyra 9B, and we're just going to add in some marks just to get loose and to get ready to paint. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thanks for coming in and watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any videos in the future. I would appreciate it. So I'm going to add in some of this burnt sienna with the ochre to get more of a yellowy orange color. I'm going to add in some white and a bit more yellow ochre into that because I want it to be toned down just a little bit. So add some of that color in. Really want to keep the brushes light and loose strokes right now. Not really defining anything, just sort of playing and trying to figure out where things need to go. Adding in a bit more marabou. I'm sorry, Lyra. I'm going to add in some white mixed with this yellow green. A friend gave me this color and I'm not really sold on it, but I figured I should try to use it. So we're going to mix in some white and sort of make it more of a pastel color. And you can see it's mixing in with that burnt sienna, so it's really kind of toning it down just a little bit. I'm going to add in some yellow ochre to even bring it down the brightness just a little more into something that I would actually use. So this is a good lesson for if you find, like, say, a tube of paint or, you know, buy things on sale, you can always make it work by adding more colors, different colors to the paint to change it a little bit. Use the hairdryer there and to dry that layer. Now we're going to start back in. I'm going to add just a bunch of white all over it to create this other layer of texture, and let those layers fade into the back just a little bit. I'm using my silicone Princeton tool, which is amazing. Now I'm going to add in some of this cerulean blue. And again, we're making loose marks, building up layers, thin washes, thin layers of paint. Nothing is still set in stone. We're still just exploring, trying to figure out where the work is going to go and how it needs to be going forward. Adding in some more white, some more distinct brush marks. Here I'm going in with my Catalyst Wedge tool to try to create some lines and draw back in so you can see the layers below just a little bit. For me, taking away is just as important as adding. You can see that green starting to come through. And this is why I dry my layers in between, because I want to give it just a little, I want you to be able to see what's below without it mixing together with the layer below. So now we're going to go in with a hairdryer, and I'll speed this up a little bit. And we're back. So now I've got these jelly printed papers that I printed earlier after I printed on the canvas. And they're sort of blues and metallics, and I want to add some of these into the piece. These are printed on tissue paper, and I'll leave a link up above to my jelly printing tissue paper printing tutorial that I did a while back, so you can take a look at that. So I'm putting down some Liquitex matte medium. Probably should have added the gel medium just to keep the shine, because it's going to take down the shine of that metallic. But I don't have any of that right now, so we're going to stick with the matte medium. And I think it'll be fine. So I'm going to add in a couple more of these papers in here. And I like doing this because that with tissue paper, it really does just blend and become part of the canvas. You've seen me do this before, probably on paper, but it also works on canvas. But you need to lay down a layer first and make sure you get a good adhesion, because you don't want it drying and coming up later. So I'm just going with my catalyst wedge and smoothing it out a little bit. And then I'm going to add in just a little bit more. There's a piece up there that was sticking out. So I'm going to add in just a little bit more of this paper, give it more texture. I like this stark white piece here. And I like the colors that are in these jelly papers and how they're sort of relating to what I've already put down. These pieces, I'm going to be making about 3 or 4 of these. I'm redoing my studio walls in my photography studio, and I want to have some of my own work up on the walls. So these are going to go in that space. So we're again, dry this layer. And now I'm going to go in some pink. So now I'm just adding in some white. And I've sped up the video just a little bit because this last part is, it's just really me adding paint. Adding in some greens and some pinks. Really trying to create some movement here. Sort of had a David Hockney palette going on somehow, which is fine. I like the palette. I wasn't sure if I wanted this to be more pastel or light, but it's going on a pretty dark wall, so I kind of want it to be tropical, but not like Miami. So just sort of this whole vibe of tropical flair. So here I'm adding in some pencil. I'm going to add in some bit more yellow ochre. And I want to give it a little bit more shine. So I'm adding in a little bit more white. And I really like how this looks right here. Now we're starting to see some depth. We're starting to see the layers behind come through just a little bit, and it's really starting to come together. So I wanted to add a little bit more shine, so I took my stencil and added in a little bit of the metallic bronze with this stencil right on top. And I really think that added just a little bit more texture to it and a little bit more, I don't know, I like the space that it's creating. Back with a hairdryer. I don't want to mess those stencils up, so we're going to dry that. So now I've got my marabous out. I'm going to add just some of this cool gray. And I'm adding a little bit of this sort of turquoise blue because I felt like it was really too warm and missing some blue tones. I like my Marabou crayons. They are water soluble. I was going to use my new Lyras, but I want to try those out on paper first before I use them on a canvas. Here I'm just getting a little bit more aggressive with my brush. Smoothing those out just a little bit, rubbing with fingers. So yeah, this is the end of this part of the video, adding in a little pink. And I'm going to continue to work on this off camera, and I will see you in the next one. So have a good day, and you'll see the final piece at the end. Thanks so much. Bye.